Hi, guys. My name is Emily, and I am a recovering addict. I've been clean for almost 10 years now, and I'm in the addiction studies course at Mount West. And I also work for a local drug treatment center for adults aged 18 and older. And what I want to talk about today is some of the things that helped shape my beliefs, not only about addiction, but also my beliefs about myself and the impact that it's had on me and the impact that that can have on others as well. So, when we talk about addiction and substance use, and especially among young people, we often hear things like, don't think that, or think this, or just change your thinking. And while that may be very well intentioned advice, I want to start by talking about the difference between a thought and a belief, because that difference matters deeply. So, a thought is something that's very fleeting. It is kind of like the mental equivalent of just a cloud passing by. It's here and then it's gone. I'm having a bad day. That's a thought. It can be changed. Beliefs sink a little bit deeper than that. It shapes how you see yourself in the world. It is information that you use to understand as knowledge or truth, and it can control your life and it impacts all of your actions. Not only are individuals, based around beliefs, nations are built around beliefs, religions, governments, all of these things, the belief system is what drives them. So what that brings me to is the difference, the huge difference in the thought and the belief. Because for me personally, I didn't think when I was younger, I'm not good enough, or I'm broken, or I don't matter. Those weren't thoughts. Those were beliefs. And that was something that was far harder to change and something I wasn't equipped to even begin to know how to change. When you believe something about yourself so, what is the word? With such conviction, that's something really hard to get out of. And especially if you've lived in an environment that reinforces these things over and over and over again. And so that's going to lead me into the next thing, which is a study that changed the way I think about addiction and the way I view addiction. So in the 1970s, there was a psychologist named Bruce Alexander, and he had conducted a study on a rat park. And what he did, he compared two groups of rats. One group of rats were kept in cages, isolated by themselves, with nothing but food, water, and a drug-laced water. This other group of rats, they kind of lived in a rat paradise. It was a rat park with toys and space to run and other rats to act with. And what he ended up finding was really amazing, because the isolated rats consumed far more of the drug-laced water than the rats that lived in the rat park. And a lot of the rats even consumed so much that they overdosed and died from it. However, the rats in the rat park had community and stimulation and connection and all of these important things that human beings need as well in order to be able to maintain a healthy outlook about themselves, about the world. So what he also found that was interesting is the rats in the rat park rarely even showed interest in the water. They didn't even care that it was there. They didn't even want to know about it. There wasn't even a lot of curiosity. So what that brings me to is, what does that say about us? It tells us that addiction doesn't come out of nowhere. It grows. And where it grows is isolation, trauma, broken systems, broken homes, broken people. It grows among people who feel unseen. It grows in people that feel unloved and unheard. And the antidote for that is not just telling people to think better. It's creating an environment where creating better beliefs can take root and actually change something. So, like I said, I work at a rehabilitation center that has 91 beds. On any given day, 70% of those people we treat have children. Now, let's just say each one of those patients have one child. That's roughly 64 kids affected by addiction. But it would probably be more because logically, some of those would have more than one child. And that's just from one facility. Those children whose environments have been shaped by uncertainty, instability, role reversals, those types of environments often plant seeds for the same struggles in the next generation. If we want to break that kind of cycle, we need to stop treating addiction like a moral failure and start treating it as something that is environmental, emotional, and a social issue like it truly is. So, a final thought is, stop pretending and telling teens, just say no, or think positive, or it'll get better, or it's just a stage, or what's wrong with you. That's not enough. It's not. Start changing the beliefs they carry about themselves, the beliefs that come from the environments that they live in. Because when we change their environment, just like with those rats, we change the outcome. If we want to prevent substance use, we need to build more rat parks in real life. More connection, more compassion, more community. So please, next time you encounter an individual struggling, especially a young person, give them a chance to believe in something new about themselves. Something that's valued and supported, and something that tells them that they're not alone. Thank you.